everyone. I just realized I didn't bring my drink. That's okay. We're gonna get through this. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Last night, The Last Resort aired, and we're gonna talk about that. So, just waiting on Kara and DeeDee to get here. We're on episode 10 of The Last Resort. Hey, Aunt Sandy. Episode 10 of The Last Resort. So we're about to get all up in this because this was the strip club episode. And we've been waiting on the strip club episode, I don't know, for like a few weeks now, I guess. So yeah, we're going to get into the strip club episode. And I think that there's a lot to unpack here because I want to talk to the ladies and see who feels like is at fault here for what went down. So I want to get into that. And I know that, Kara. I'm actually, I have your podcast that I need to watch, your interview. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. It's actually open in like a tab on my phone. I'm going to get to that. I swear. Hey,
Hi.
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. So this was the infamous strip club episode that we've been hearing about since the beginning of the season. So I don't know where DeeDee's at.
Yeah.
DeeDee, where you at? I just
nap.
texted her. So I'm like, where did you go that fast? I literally just texted her. So
She's still
maybe, I don't know. It's weird. I'm usually the one that's never on time, and now I feel like I've rubbed off on DeeDee, and now I've destroyed DeeDee. Now DeeDee is also...
We broke
right. There you are. There you are. I was just talking about you. Okay.
We're still talking about you, DeeDee. It's fine.
See, we would say it to your face, too.
Yeah.
That's what makes us true friends. Yeah. We would say it to your face,
absolutely.
Too. So, wait, just because you're here, we're not going to stop talking about you. Hey!
Talk about her.
Hi. Hey, I heard what you said. No, for some reason, I don't know, but for like tonight and like the past couple of times, it does not let me know when you go live.
That's
really?
And I just have to keep looking. Like when you tell me you're fixing to go live, I have to keep looking to see if you live because I don't know. I have my notifications on. Okay. I have no idea what's wrong. I don't know.
You know what? That's funny because Kim was live earlier and she texted me that she was going to go live, and then I opened Instagram and she was live and I didn't get notification. So it might like be a glitch that everybody has going on. That sucks though, because that means when we go live, people don't know we're live.
Yeah, I didn't get a notification about.
Yeah, that's probably why sometimes we get a lot of viewers and sometimes we don't because I don't know. Like last night it didn't let me know that you were live. I had to keep looking.
See,
like the past couple of times.
Why won't Instagram let people be great? Right? Like why can't people be great?
We're just trying to make Instagram great again.
Right?
I know, right?
Let's get some hats made. Okay, so episode 10 of The Last Resort, it was a strip club episode, and also it was the episode where Kalani came clean about where she was that night. So I kind of want to start there because Liz congratulated Kalani on her spending the night with Dallas and moving forward. How do you guys feel? Do you feel like Kalani needed to put a pin in this marriage and like stop pretending like she was gonna work it out? That's how I feel like stop pretending like you're gonna work this out and really go and be with the guy that you're really with, right? I felt like she was leading everybody on and making it seem like she was going to work it out with Asuelo. She was never going to work it out with Asuelo, right? Like, she was never going to make it work. She never had the interest to make it work. She says he cheated on her 12 times. I can't imagine why she would have it in her to try to give him a 13th chance to cheat, right?
Yeah. Well, I have mixed
I mean, she wouldn't have got a free vacation, family vacation, if she hadn't agreed to it.
That's very true.
Just saying.
After everything was revealed last week, her accusations and all of that, I have so many mixed emotions about this. Obviously, it was about the family vacation. We all know that she wasn't ever going to get back together with this douchebag. But she was wrong for going, period. But she was wrong for being at couples therapy and going off with someone else. That's just...
Well, it started before she got there because she was already in a relationship with this guy before she got there. So she should have never, like you said, she should have never shown up to couples therapy knowing that relationship was done.
Yeah.
And I think that, and we kind of watched it with Molly and Kelly too. Like, don't show up and make it seem like you're gonna work things out. And I saw Asuelo getting emotional. We're gonna see next week where she comes clean to him about, hey, General. So she's gonna come clean to him about, you know, being with Dallas, and he was getting emotional. And it's like, I don't want to be cold, but I was like, if you really did cheat on her 12 times, I don't really care if this hurt you. You know, like, honestly, like, you didn't think about how this made her feel. You cheat on when she was pregnant. You cheat on her just pregnant again. You cheat on her before. You cheat on her when you got married. You cheat on her before she got married. It's like, if her not telling you where she is and her spending the night with another guy is what it takes for you to understand the pain that you put her through, then that's karma, right? That's literally what karma is.
Just watching him in the strip club, I can't stand this guy under any circumstance. He's such a fucking child. Like, he just makes my skin crawl. But watching him at the strip club, he gave me every version of creeper vibe that you could possibly give. Like, he is so disgusting. I just can't with him.
Well, he keeps sticking to the story that he didn't know anything about a strip club. And, whoa, where did Cara go?
Uh-oh,
he didn't know anything about a strip club. And I think Cara Googled it. Strip clubs are real in Samoa.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we don't have that. They're not a real thing. And I'm like, no, that's a story that you're sticking to. They are there. But the way that he acted in the strip club, did you feel like this was his first time in the strip club? I don't know. I felt like he was having a really good time. Like, I feel like your very first time, you would be kind of nervous or shy, right? I feel like
like Armando was whenever him and Kenny went. Armando was in the beginning, he was nervous, but then he got into it.
Right. He was
but
like,
we already know that Asuelo's been to him before. Yeah. I mean, that was just a lie.
I think Asuelo has been able to make us believe he's more innocent than he is. And I think that the fact that nobody really realized that he had been cheating on her.
Fell off.
Oh, yeah. We're like,
you're back.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
My internet just closed.
Oh.
Everybody was spinning and then my screen went black. It's fine.
Okay. So it's not, it's just today in general. Yeah. So I was saying, I think that Asuelo is really good at making people believe that he's innocent. Because do you see the way he was behaving in the strip club? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that was his first time in the strip club, or do you believe that he's been in a strip club before?
He's been in a strip club before. And him going, is this cheating? Yeah, it's fucking cheating, you idiot. I hate him. I hate him with a passion.
Well,
I don't like him either. Like, he's just nasty. He disgusts me. Mm-hmm. And every time I see him, is all I can see is that freaking yeast in his mouth. I mean, that's just That's just disgusting.
I think that
who in their right mind would want to be with him after that, even kiss him or have any intimate relationships with him, knowing that he freaking does it with anybody. Ugh.
He's so
the way that he acted in the strip club with 3 women all over him, that it opened my eyes. I was like, this man really does cheat on this woman.
Yeah.
Like, the way that he was acting, knowing that he's still a married man, this is okay. Like, in his mind, this is okay. I was like, I can really see. Because a lot of people are like, oh, she's exaggerating. I don't think she is. The way that he had 3 different strippers straddling him and he didn't see anything wrong with that shows his judgment of character. It shows that in his mind, he thinks that he can do whatever the hell he wants. But then when he can't find Kalani for an hour, he's flipping out like, well, what are you doing? Are you with anyone? I'm like, well,
yeah.
What do you care? When you're cheating on her, she doesn't know where you are.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what you're doing. Why is it that you get to control her? You get to tell her what she can and can't do, but you can go and have 3 strippers straddling you in the strip club, you know, and like, that's totally fine. I don't like the double standard.
Absolutely. They were all wrong in this situation. Every last one of them was wrong.
See, somebody said to me that Jovi is the most wrong in this situation because he was the mastermind. He brought them all there and he set them all up to get in trouble. Do you believe that?
Yeah. He's the instigator for sure.
Yeah.
But
when it
Jovi
comes to strip clubs and drinking and partying, Yara even admitted it tonight that Jovi's never actually cheated. Well, really, that's actually cheating, you know, doing that. But in her mind, he's never actually cheated. But he is addicted to strip clubs and alcohol.
But for him to have strippers in his phone, he wasn't messaging them to go see them at work. He was messaging them to see if they wanted to come out. Did you see the little snippet where they showed him texting? He's asking if they want to come and hang out. So you're messaging strippers outside of your marriage to see if they want to go out on guys' night with you. He's wrong on every freaking level. Every single one of them.
And the fact that he was like, well, I'm the angel in this situation. I didn't do anything wrong. And I was like, see, that's the emotional abuse.
Yeah.
Like the gaslight that he's doing to Yara, because he's like, you can't be mad at me because I behaved. Behaving would be telling your wife what you're doing and not doing something that she doesn't want you to do. She's told him over and over and over again, I'm not comfortable with you going to strip clubs. And she even went with him. She's a good wife, right? Yara's a really good wife, because a lot of women would have just said, you married me?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, great shots.
Hey,
yeah, a lot of wives, they would have been like, no, we're married. You're not going to a strip club anymore. She gave him the benefit of a doubt and went with him just to see, if this was going to be something that she would be comfortable with moving forward. She even gave him the opportunity to show how he was going to act, and he failed the test, right? He literally failed. He's blowing kisses to the stripper sitting next to his wife. He doesn't know how to act.
Yep.
And it's like, I don't think that being married disqualifies you from going to the strip club if your relationship and your wife, everybody is on the same page. But I feel like the fact that he loves doing something that she hates, and he's going to do it whether she likes it or not. He's not even going to tell her that he's doing it. And then he's going to take the strippers' phone numbers and text them so he can hang out behind their back. I was like, there's a level of trust that I feel like they just don't have. Yep. And I can't understand. Well, okay, so he told us the story. At 16 years old was the first time he ever went to a strip club. He snuck in, and he's been going ever since. So how do you feel? Do you feel like this is something that he's not going to know how to get over because he's been doing it for his whole life?
Yeah, he's like addicted. I mean, he is absolutely addicted. He's an alcoholic, and he's addicted. This guy, he's such an idiot, and Yara deserves so much better. Yeah. So much better. And she gets so much better. Easy peasy.
Yeah, she really could. And I know, I'm going to say this, a lot of women, when they have a child by a man, they work a little harder to make it work. But I don't know, Yara, that baby is going to be loved regardless. You need to be loved, right? Like, you need to be loved. You need to be respected. If that's how he wants to treat you, he doesn't deserve you. He doesn't deserve to keep you locked up in Louisiana while he's gone half the year working a job that he didn't even have to work. He's had another offer, right? Like, that he could have worked and came home every night. He just didn't want to. That says a lot, because it's like, what if, when he's overseas working, is he in a strip club overseas every night after work?
I'm sure.
Right.
I wish Tara would have got up and left with Kelly. She could have had such a much better man right there. Just that easy.
I mean, this episode for me, because at first, I'm going to be honest, when Yara and Jovi were announced they were going to be on The Last Resort, I was like, well, that's stupid. They're happy. They don't have real problems.
Yeah.
They're still together. They're happy. But now that I'm kind of seeing a little bit more of their relationship, the fact that he's texting strippers behind his wife's back, and he didn't know, because the way that he reacted to Ed. Okay, can we talk about Ed being a snitch? Ed is such a snitch. Have you noticed that nobody likes Ed? He has no friends. This is why. He's a snitch. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he's wrong for telling on Jovi, because Yara deserved to know, right? But it's like, you're never going to get any friends, especially male friends. If you're a male and you want to get male friends, you have to follow a code. Yeah. And that code is usually, it's usually covering up for other guys that are your friends. And Ed doesn't understand that. Every chance he gets, he's running back to Liz. He's running back and telling. It's like, Ed, you're a snitch. And it's like,
for a half a second, like this much of a second, not even that much, this much of a second, I was like, go Ed. Good job on telling Liz. Good job on calling Liz. Good job on all of that. Good job. You're actually doing something worth a shit. And then he turns around and everything he told her he wouldn't do, he was doing. So this much respect went back out the window. I that was the first time I was ever like, good job, Ed. Anyway, that guy, yeah.
Well, yeah, I agree. He did the right thing, but then it's like he told on himself ahead of time.
Yes.
So he didn't have to behave when he got there. That's kind of how I looked at it. He was like, well, I'm going to tell on myself ahead of time so I can go there and do whatever I want. She already knows. It's a little better than Jovi's situation because she don't know he's there, right? Well, Jovi didn't think she knew he was there. She was on speakerphone. Okay, so I'm going to say this. Every time I answer a call, I usually answer it on speakerphone. So I always try to warn people ahead of time. Like, if I'm around people that aren't used to, like, cussing and stuff, I'm like, hey, you're, like, in the car with a bunch of people. I'm, like, on speaker. Don't say anything horrible. So that was a situation where Ed called and the women knew what was going on. But I did like how the ladies were like, well, I'm not going to let these morons ruin my night. You know, like, we can deal with these idiots tomorrow. You know, like, they're not going to ruin my night. I'm still going to have a good time. We knew what we were getting ourselves into with these people. This is why we're in couples therapy in the first place. We can still enjoy this beautiful resort and have drinks. And Angela wants to take topless photos to keep on her phone. You know, like, yeah, that's smart, Angela. Like, that's smart. Don't do that. No one ever do that. Don't do that because all those photos get leaked and then you're going to get pissed off, right? Like, so don't do that.
Exactly. Don't put nothing out there that you don't want out there, because once they out there, they're out there.
Yeah. But if you're not selling it on OnlyFans, don't give it away, right? Don't give it away.
See, and the explosion that we all knew was coming is here, where Angela literally got pissed off at Michael for nothing. Literally nothing. So now when she gives the divorce papers at the end of the show, like we know she's going to, that's why.
Yeah, I didn't understand the issue because he was like, hey, he called to tell on himself too, which in a relationship with Angela, it's best to tell on yourself, right? Because like he said, she'll get on a plane and fly over there and tear his car apart. Tell on yourself and get it out in the open, but she still got pissed off. And she's like, oh, well, you saw them? Like, that's what a FaceTime call is. Yes, like, I can't control when I answer the phone and the picture pops up what the picture is. Like, I honestly believe Michael did what he was supposed to do. He saw what was going on. He hung up the phone, right? Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. But with Angela, like you said, we know she came there with divorce papers, and we're the back of our mind. We pretty much know that their marriage is no longer. So at some point, something had to happen in order for that relationship to end. And this is it. Because we're like 2 or 3 episodes from the end. So we have to.
Yeah, I think that was ridiculous. Angela consoling Kalani, that was the most human I've ever seen Angela be on TV. It was like that was real, that was compassionate, that was sweet. And then in the same breath, she turns around and pulls that shit on Michael. I'm like, what is it? You guys are just literally flipping.
That was crazy because Michael wasn't even doing anything wrong. I mean, the guy called him. And then whenever he realized what was going on, he was like, oh, no, I'm not going to be in the middle of this. And he did the right thing by hanging up. And then he does what he thought was the right thing and tells Angela, and Angela takes it out on him when he was being honest with her. He could have been like the other guys, or not the other guys, but you know what I mean? Like, he could have been like Jovi or Asuelo, be like, oh, don't, I'm not going to say anything. I'll keep a secret. No, he was honest about it. I mean, so what does she want for him? She says she wants honesty.
It just shows that no matter what he does, he's always going to be wrong. Because that's kind of how the relationship has always been. No matter
you want honesty and you get honesty, that doesn't make you happy. They lie to you because they don't want to tell you the truth because that makes you mad. But then again, you get even more mad. So what is it that you want?
She punishes him for telling the truth. She punishes him for lying. She punishes him for looking at women, like in everyday passing. Because he hasn't had a job this whole time because other women work. So that's a problem. It's like he can't win.
For crying out loud, the poor guy's already being punished enough by having to say she's his wife.
He is definitely putting a lot into this relationship because Angela is not an easy relationship or marriage, right? She demands that he answers the phone every time. To the point where he had to quit his job. Michael had a job, guys. Michael had a job, but he wasn't answering the phone every time she called, so he had to quit. That was like one of the first rules of the relationship. Then he couldn't have any female friends. He couldn't go anywhere where there were.
Who does that remind you of? Just saying. Who does that remind you of?
Who?
That what's her name's Brandon and Mary are smaller versions of Michael and Angela.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Because Brandon lost all those jobs because they were on FaceTime together, and he couldn't deal with any women. Okay, yeah. So it's like a Brandon and yeah, you're right, Angela and Michael Jr. I didn't even put the two and two together.
Yeah, it's terrible.
It's so toxic, but I think at this point we're seeing the tail end of their relationship because, like you said, this is going to end at the end of the season, and we're 2 or 3 episodes out, and they hadn't really been fighting the whole season, so we knew something was going to have to take place to make those divorce papers get signed by the end of it. So we're gonna see that situation happen, but is anybody really surprised that they're not gonna make it? Like I never thought that they would.
No.
Right?
No, I already knew.
Time.
I already knew they wasn't gonna make it when she never brought him over here.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's been 5 years, right, that they've been married. I only know one other couple who had that. It's been longer than that, and you know that's a very specific situation. Yeah. So after the 5 years, it's like she's not moving to Nigeria,
right?
So we knew it was never gonna work out. So we knew that it wasn't gonna happen. But I'm happy for Kalani. But they didn't show in the preview her bringing Dallas to resort to meet Asuelo. So I'm really hoping they don't gyp us this season.
Me too. I want to see Dallas come in and kick Asuelo out.
Right?
I know that he was at the resort, but I don't know if he's gonna be like where we gonna be able to see him on TV.
Right.
But he was at the resort just about the whole time they were there.
Yeah.
Oh,
that was not the first time that they had seen each other.
Yeah.
While she was at the resort.
I want to see her, like, it would have made more sense for dramatic purposes for her to come clean to Asuelo with him next to her.
Yeah.
That would have been more entertainment for me. I want to see Asuelo snap and go crazy because it's like, you got to cheat on her over and over and over. Now you get to see how it feels to be sitting in the other seat. Now you're sitting in the chair where you're hurt. So now you get to see what you've been doing to her over and over and over. And I'm a karma person, right? I want to see him get his karma.
Yep.
Exactly. When you have
I can't wait till
when you have somebody that's good to you, whether a man or woman, it doesn't matter. When you have someone that bends over backwards for you, that treats you well, people like that are very few in between.
Yep.
And then you screw them over time and time again, your ass deserves anything and everything karma brings you.
Absolutely.
Oh, so I want to talk about strip clubs for a second. So did anybody know that it got that raunchy in strip clubs? I haven't been to a strip club.
I've never been to one.
That was very raunchy, right?
They're horrible.
I didn't know that there was so much touching and contact. Like, I was under the impression that you could look and not touch. There's a lot there.
That's true in most strip clubs. My best friend's sister was a stripper forever, and they if you touch a stripper, you got security on you. You're out.
A big dude, right, coming to pick you up and throw you, right? That's what I always assumed. Yeah. But Ed's grabbing the stripper.
This was all set up for TV because when they do a lap dance, they have a separate area for that. None of that shit happens on the stage. They don't let just random people come up on the stage like Ed or Asuelu. That doesn't happen. You cannot do that. This was all
hell in our right mind. We want Ed to touch them. Ugh.
Yeah, this was
all disgusting. Ew.
Okay.
I know that one stripper was gonna wrap her legs around Ed's neck and then realized I can't do that.
So, okay, yeah, Portuguese Princess says you pay for a lap dance. Yeah, that's not, yeah, you're right. Nobody's just going to do it because it's your first time at the strip club.
Yep.
So, yeah, that was interesting for me. But again, they kind of did have their own little corner.
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably a setup for filming. So everything was exaggerated. Everything was so everybody watching this, don't go to the strip club and behave like they did because you'll probably get arrested. Well, I'm just saying, because
I'm sure that they had the whole place closed down for filming.
And I'm pretty sure they had to pay them folks, them women, pretty good a bit of money, especially for Ed and Asuelo to be ugh.
Yeah. I mean, there's not enough money in the world, but
no,
I'm sure paid very well for
That's just
that. Plus, they
disgusting.
were all on
Ugh.
TV and got a TLC check on top of everything. So yeah,
I mean, that's an easy night of not having to deal with too much, right? Because usually strippers have to deal with some really creepy, weird. I mean, and that Ed wasn't there.
Ed and Asuelu, those poor strippers are retired. They're in the hospital recovering. They're all still throwing up. That's a lot.
Yeah, it was a lot, and I thought that all of them behaved horribly to be married men. I was just like, y'all are all out of control, and I get why your wives are like this close. Yeah. And y'all, like, I get it, because the way that they behaved, and Jovi, and like, no, Ed walked in, and the first thing he says to the waitresses, we're all single.
Yeah.
And I was like, see, this is the type of shit that you turn on Snapped, and there's a perfectly normal woman, and she was a perfectly good woman, and then this type of behavior made her snap, right? Like, she was perfectly fine, perfectly logical, reasonable, an honest person, and then she married somebody like that who goes out behind her back, tells people they're single, gets lap dances from random girls. This is the type of behavior that turns women out of control.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. And it's like,
that will get you punched in the face, kicked in the balls, and then stabbed.
Yep.
Don't mess with me.
Well,
don't do it.
Like, in divorce, I can't imagine women are
going to say
divorce.
I'll get you 6 feet under the
oh no, I said and divorced.
Well, you gotta divorce. No, DeeDee, you can't kill you. No,
I mean,
that
yeah.
Try me. Try me.
That's you absolutely can. It's just
Snapped. That's a TV show. That's a different thing.
And it's justified.
Oh,
I don't think so.
God.
I don't think the judge justifies that stuff. I don't think they do.
If you took Ed and Asuelu and were like, these are the people I'm dealing with, the judge is like, case closed, you're free to go.
I don't know how accurate that is, but okay.
The judge
also
might be traumatized.
Yeah.
And Judy, motorboating was mentioned twice on this episode. It was first at the strip club, and second, Angela wanted to motorboat her cooter in the pool.
Yeah.
So it was two different versions of motorboating. Neither one that we were really interested in hearing about.
And they were both wrong examples of motorboating.
Yeah, you're right. Motorboating is a completely different thing from what they were doing at the strip club. And what she was doing in the pool is not called motorboating either. I don't know what it's called, where you use the jets.
It's called...
That's not called that either.
Especially in a public place.
Well, yeah. So let's talk about the fact that they were topless in the public pool where there are other guests. Yeah. Like, there's a lot going on with this. They should have rented the whole resort, right? And
I don't know about you, but I'm sure that DeeDee's right there with me. I have never gotten in a hot tub and or a swimming pool with 4 of my girlfriends and been like, let's show each other our boobs. That has never happened.
No, never will.
Said that either.
No, yeah, that's true. That sounds like a late night HBO movie or something. Like, yeah, it's not realistic. And then Angela was like, let's take pictures.
Tell me how all these women are pissed off at these men for cheating, but yet they're out showing other women their tits. And that's not cheating?
See, that's true. That's true. I did notice that. And it's like, for some reason, women with other women is not the same.
Which is ridiculous.
That is
if I went out and was showing a girl my boobs, my husband would be like, what the hell are you doing?
See, a lot of husbands...
My husband went and showed his best friend his penis. I'd be like, what the hell are you doing? None of that's okay.
Yeah, it should be equal.
And
I do agree.
There is
and y'all know when they were out drinking the drinks and they were and Yara asked Kalani how big Asuelo was. Angela gonna say Michael is as big as all them pieces of bread she did. Come on, man. Come on. Seriously? That shit would come out your mouth.
TJ, I'm not saying that I've never changed in front of my girlfriends or whatever. That women get dressed in front of women all the time. But when you're in a situation in a hot tub and you're just like, let me show you my boobs. I want to see your boobs. I want to see your boobs. When you're dressing in front of somebody else, that's because that's your best friend and that's what girls do. When you're requesting to see boobs, that's different.
That's true.
It's just a different level.
That's true. I agree. I think that, oh yeah, Yara didn't. Yeah, you're right. Yara was the only one who kept it classy. Yeah. And good for her. You know, and let's be honest, she had the best ones.
Yeah.
So good for her for keeping them covered. That's for Jovi's eyes only. Good for Yara. She understands how relationships work. Everybody else doesn't. But Yara kept it classy. She's like, I'm not doing that. She was like,
is all the time.
Well, yeah, Scott said that
I don't know. They asking like how big their men are. They want to see. They want to know like really. No.
I do believe women talk about stuff like that with each other. I do believe that. I've heard women say it before. That is like conversation. That they have. But
I don't have that conversation with my friends.
How do you feel about that? Do you feel like that's private and you shouldn't talk about that with your friends? Like, how do you feel about that?
It's private. Well, that is very private.
I'll talk.
And if someone were to ever ask me something secret like that, then I would probably unfriend them. Because why are you so interested in my spouse? Yep. Why do you want to know what my spouse has got? Because I don't give a damn what your spouse has got.
Yep. 100%.
You friends don't do that.
So you think it's a ulterior motive when women want to know stuff like that?
Yeah,
maybe interested in your husband.
Well, maybe why they're not interested, but I mean, then that's not saying that they're interested. But why do they want to know? You know what I'm saying?
I never thought about it. Because when I know women say stuff that like, oh, we talk about that. Like I know because guys know if a guy's been with a girl and she knows another girl and you've been with that girl, they've probably talked about if you were good and bad or not.
Well,
like it's given.
What I'm saying is like, it's kind of a double standard, but there's different levels. Like if my friend went and had a one-night stand with somebody and then she comes back and she's like, oh, I slept with him, he was horrible, or I slept with him, he was great, he had a gigantic dick, whatever. Okay, I'll listen. That's funny. But if my friend comes to me and says, how big is your husband's penis? That's none of your damn business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's questionable, right? It's questionable behavior.
Yeah.
Because it's like that's information that you should never know because they're married, right? So it's information you never know.
4 married women sitting there. It's 4 married women. It's not 3 sluts that went out and 1 married chick. It's not like that at all. It is 4 married women who are pissed off at their men for being at a strip club, showing their tits and asking about private parts.
Yeah. And it's funny because if the men were out talking like that, they would be really upset. Because especially Angela, right? Especially Angela. Like if Michael was talking sexual in any way to anyone else, she would have a hissy fit.
Absolutely.
So I do believe that you're onto the double standard where women are allowed to get away with a little more.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to with other women, because for some reason, women doing things together isn't considered cheating.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out why that is, because there's full-blown marriages between 2 women who love each other fully. They're committed to each other. They have a home together. They raise kids together. So it's like, oh, well, TJ says it's because men like to brag.
That's true.
Okay, that's true. You're right. Men do like to brag about things. And then women, because at that point, it kind of seemed like the ladies were making fun of each other's men.
Yep.
They weren't really bragging about anything. So maybe the tone of the conversation is different.
Yeah.
That could be too.
I can't imagine being married to any one of those men and bragging about it. Bragging about any of it.
Well, Angela is under the impression that Michael has an elephant trunk.
Well, I mean, poor Michael, though. Look at what Michael's had. Poor Michael. Poor Michael. That's
like I was saying, there's no way possible that man's got an elephant trunk.
Yep.
Because she did, like, whenever, because you remember whenever Big Ed stood up and showed Angela his little Vienna sausage.
Mm-hmm. But he had to lift up his belly first.
His little nub.
He had to lift up his belly.
She said Michael was only 3 inches bigger.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how,
did she say that?
so how was he elephant trunk?
Well, Angela
So
can
he's
walk
3.5
like a normal person.
inches, maybe less than 3.
Well,
Yeah.
Angela can walk like a normal person. So we already knew that that wasn't true.
Yep.
Right? Like, if that was true, she would have like a wheelchair.
Yep.
Right? Like, she wouldn't be able to walk. Like, come on now, let's just be realistic here. That's not possible.
She
It's not
couldn't even
humanly
walk
possible.
with the vibrator in between her legs. She was walking like she like had something for her. You remember? So if he has an elephant trunk, she'd have to go to the hospital every time that they did something.
She would have to have reconstructive surgery. Like, if she would just be destroyed. Okay, like, she'd be destroyed. He'd have to have reconstructive surgery. Like, honestly, that's just what we're talking here. This is just human anatomy and biology, right? Like, this is just how it works. It's not possible.
Yep.
So she might have wanted to brag and make it seem like that was what it is, but it's not. You know, and good for her for making Michael feel a little better about himself. No man is ever gonna get mad at you for adding an inch or two, right?
Literally,
nobody can get mad.
Every time Angela says anything about Michael or about their sex life or anything in front of Michael, he says no, and he gets very embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not the typical man that is like, yeah, that's my wife bragging.
Yeah, you're right. He's not like the rest of the guys. Like, he doesn't even want to talk about what's going on in there. So even with the counselors, like, when they were talking about it, he was embarrassed then. Yep. You know, that's why I think it's interesting that she keeps saying that he's a cheater, because he's so, what's the word? What's the word when you
reserved?
Yes, that's the word. He's reserved. So it's like the fact that he would go behind her back and cheat and look at women's pictures and do all this stuff, it doesn't seem like his character for me. It's hard for me to follow.
You know what they say? The quiet ones are the worst ones.
Yeah. I don't know.
They say? Is that what they say? I mean, right. Michael is not Johan, right? That's what Judy said. Michael is not Johan. Like, if somebody told me that Johan was online talking to other women, I wouldn't have like a really difficult time.
We all know Johan talking to other women.
Of course.
Exactly.
There's no chance he's not. I wouldn't have any issue believing that. But when she says that Michael keeps cheating on me, and I'm thinking, like, I need to, like, proof. I need, like, screenshots. Like, that doesn't seem like him. Like, honestly,
and that's the other thing. She always says, Michael virtually cheated on me. Okay, if he virtually cheated on you, then there's no way in hell you don't have screenshots. So post that shit.
And what does virtually cheated mean?
Like, I guess had a conversation.
Oh, so like, okay, so she means like emotionally cheating. Like, he was just talking to somebody online.
Yeah.
See, I'm not here to put degrees on things, but Jovi goes to strip clubs and physically looks at women and probably touches them. And then Michael might have had a conversation with a woman on DM. I don't know. I don't want to put degrees on things. I don't like to invalidate people's feelings, but I don't know. It seems like Jovi and Yara have the more serious issue.
Absolutely.
You know? Like, I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying, it seems like the serious issue is the person who's texting strippers.
Yes.
Right? That's a serious issue. Like, and I'm not saying that talking to women on the internet isn't bad, because I think this is what Asuela was getting involved with. You know, it still hurts. It still hurts the person you're with. It still makes them feel like they're not enough. But you can get past the virtual cheating a little easier because there's no physical contact, right? If you can correct the behavior in time, you can fix this issue and move forward and stay married. But like, when there's physical contact, I always tell people, I was like, if they physically cheated on you, you probably should just walk away. Right?
But Michael virtually cheats, and Angela goes all the way to Canada to see Billy, and that's okay.
Oh, well, yeah, because it's one-sided. It's one-sided. Like, she went all the way, and she was making these TikToks and posting them online so everyone could see. Because it's not just, because she's like, I wanted to make Michael jealous. I was like, but everybody saw. Yeah. So it kind of makes it look like you can just walk all over him now. Because we all saw it. It's not like you did it and sent it straight to him to piss him off. We all saw it. So now everybody yeah, everybody looks at it like, well, you just kind of walk all over him and you can do whatever you want.
Michael doesn't even masturbate, so
well, yeah, that's what
cybersex.
That's what Portuguese Princess said. He doesn't.
Sorry, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Well,
I
don't either. But from what he says, he doesn't like, and the way that he acts, I can't see that anything Angela is saying is true.
Well, yeah, the correlation and then the look on his face when anyone says anything explicit, they correlate with each other. He does look extremely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So the fact that he would be out there having cyber relations with people and stuff, but I mean, he did have cyber relations with Angela.
Yeah.
She has admitted to that. So it's like he's done it before.
Right.
So he didn't like it, but he did it with Angela. So I don't know. This is hard because it's like I don't want to say that he is doing it because he did it with Angela, but that's his wife. So I can't say that he would do something with his wife and not with someone else or vice versa. I don't know that. That's probably a question for a doctor.
Either way,
I don't know how.
Best news is that they're getting a divorce and they're never coming back on 90 Day again. Yay!
Well, that's the news story. Yeah, the news story is after this is over, we're never gonna see Angela and Michael again.
And that's be too soon.
That's the news story. And I heard also was the same with Kalani and Asuelo.
And that'll be too soon.
Because I heard that. And I also heard a rumor that Ed and Liz aren't together anymore.
Really? After they just got married?
I just recently heard it. And it was from like a source that I consider to be pretty good. So I can't say where I heard it yet, but I will say that they said that they're not living in the same place anymore. So
did you see that DeeDee and Miona got divorced?
Well, I heard that they weren't together. Where did you hear that they were divorced?
Well, go through his Instagram. He scrubbed her completely from everything.
I noticed.
Every single thing. They don't follow each other. There's nothing.
Well, last week when I checked, they still followed each other. So if they don't follow each other now, this is very, very recent.
As of yesterday, they were not following each other when I checked.
Well, somebody DM'd me a couple of weeks ago and told me that they were no longer together. So I was going on their page. She left like 4 pictures and videos of him on her page, but other than that, they're all gone. Even their wedding pictures, all gone. White. And then Jabri left 0 pictures of Miona on his page, which I found to be insane because they traveled together. Like literally they did everything together. I was under the impression when he went to the bathroom, she went to the bathroom too. Like they were always together. So when I saw that she was off the page, I was like, I think there's some truth to this because there's no chance that he would wipe her off the page. And then apparently Miona spent like a couple of weeks in San Diego. Yeah. Like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and Jabri's been out of the country for like a month. Yeah. And they rarely ever travel without each other. Yep. So I haven't heard what happened or why they broke up. Nobody has given me any information on that, but I'm interested in knowing what happened because of all the couples, they seemed pretty tight, right? Like they seemed pretty tight. Every time I saw one, I saw the other. They were making money together. They were doing things. They were Miona business. He was helping her pack boxes. Like I didn't see trouble in paradise. Yeah. So it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yep. Yeah, I was pretty surprised, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm surprised. And I know he went live today. I wasn't able to join the live. If anyone joined that live, did he say anything about? He did not. Yeah, and he posted a few, like 5 days ago that In Touch reached out and asked if they were broken up, and he said that they were fine. Yeah. Did you see that as well?
Well,
so yeah.
He also, someone on one of his pictures yesterday asked if him and Miona are still together, and he said yes. But then the next response was, well, you guys have completely removed your pictures, and he left that one alone. Didn't say anything, but he responded to all the other ones.
So I'm wondering if they want to sell the story.
Yeah.
You know, a magazine, if they get an exclusive so they can announce it, they'll pay you for it. You just can't say anything to anyone until they publish it. So I wonder if, their last check together, they're looking at it as, well, if we get In Touch or Entertainment Tonight or People to write it, we could get our last check that we make together, and then they can announce it that way. Because, you know, some people, when they have a baby, they won't post that picture until a magazine buys that picture. You know, that's just how celebrities are when it comes to their personal information. If the world has to know, you have to pay them. So I wonder if that's what they're holding off for.
She does not have a single picture of Jabri on hers anymore.
So she even took down the videos, because there's like a couple of reels.
Yeah, there's nothing on there.
Okay. Wow. Oh, Noel and Fernanda too.
But
I didn't know that.
Jabri is following her again. He was not yesterday.
Is she following him back?
I'm trying to see. Yep. They're following each other again.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure if they unfollow each other, it'll compromise the story.
Yeah.
It'll make it less believable that they're still together.
Yesterday they unfollowed both. They weren't following each other at all.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to get to the bottom of this. And apparently Noel and Fernanda from The Single Life, they broke up too.
Yeah.
Remember, it was her like MMA UFC fighter boyfriend who was her roommate, and then
I'm surprised they stayed together as long as they did.
Me too. Honestly.
Well, yeah, they kind of just got together because they were roommates. They didn't even really get to know each other.
Yeah.
They met each other as roommates, and then like a week later they were sleeping together. So the fact that it made it that long is kind of impressive, you know. But Fernanda's, she's definitely not an easy person to make happy. I remember watching her relationship with Jonathan and her relationship with Noel. Like, she's definitely high maintenance. And, you know, and she's really into fitness, and she expects a lot out of her man. So I know it's going to be a task for her to find Mr. Right. Man, because she finds
so pretty.
Oh,
she is so.
She is. That's the thing. Like the pretty women, you know, they mess themselves up by doing all this plastic surgery, and then they have these high expectations. Well, I mean, you can be ugly you can be pretty on the outside, but they're so ugly on the inside.
Yeah, but she's natural. She's been beautiful from the get-go.
She is naturally beautiful, but she's had plastic surgery. Yeah. The first one was before she came over here. She what's his name? Jonathan got her breast surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was her first demand when they got together.
And then she's had some more since she's been over here.
Yeah. I don't know. She's just, her and Yara are both so beautiful, and the shit that they take from these men who are subpar at best. Like, I don't know how they did it.
These are the $1 million questions.
Yeah.
I know we're trying to understand it. Okay, so we're gonna end this. So this was episode 10 of The Last Resort. So next week we finally get to see Kalani come clean with Asuelu, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to see Dallas and Asuelu interact before the end of the season. And I guess the last episode is where they decide if they're gonna stay together, leave together, or leave single, is how they are wording it. So we're gonna see how that goes. And you know, we kind of feel we know what's going on with this. Yeah. Obviously, Molly and Kelly already left single.
Yeah.
So we know that Jovi and Yara are making really funny reels about Gino and Jasmine right now. So I think we know what's going on there. But we're gonna see what happens with Angela and Michael and the rest of them, and we're gonna see what happens with Chantel and Pedro's divorce. Because after this is over on November 6th. We're getting 6 episodes of the final chapter, which follows through their divorce, and it's getting ugly. So we're going to see how this...
And I'm so excited to see Scott beat Pedro's ass.
Yes, Scott will be making an appearance. Well, his fist will be making an appearance onto Pedro's face. So if you guys want to see that, because, you know, the whole Family of Chantel show started with people hitting Pedro's face. This is how it all came about. So it starts and ends in the way that it began. So we're excited for that, guys. So thanks for joining us tonight for The Last Resort. This was episode 10. Thank you to my co-hosts, Cara and DeeDee Castile. Make sure you're following them. They're tagged in this video. We're going to be back Sunday for 90 Day Fiancé, the OG season, where we're going to meet the rest of the people, because we still haven't met the guy whose mom lives in his closet. And I'm just waiting. And I'm like, waiting and waiting. So we're going to do that. And make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at George Mossey, GeorgeMossey.com. Anywhere you get your podcast or stream music, type in The George Mossey Show. Yes, Scott says I love kicking ass. We know. Also, if you guys didn't listen to Scott's interview with Sarah Fraser, go do that. It's really good. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us, and we'll talk to all of you really soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night, everybody.
Good night.